Hello, I'm Jim Jansen, and I present this paper, Use Cases for Design Personas, a systematic review and identification of new frontiers for personas. It's my work done by myself and co-authors listed here. And this is the reference to the full paper, and I really encourage you to read it. I'm going to touch on the highlights here, but the paper really presents each of these steps in depth and with a lot of details, including some future research for personas, which I do not address in this presentation. So what we did, we reviewed 95 articles addressing persona applications across various domains. We then presented, along with other things, a three-stage design hierarchy of persona usage. And we assessed assessed the trends, increasing trends of personas being used for social good rather than just design or commercial purposes. Just to touch on personas, there are these representations of real users. They're fictitious, but they take a lot of user, customer, audience data and meld it together in something that is easily digestible. Okay, and usable and understandable representation of the users. And so that simplicity actually has a lot of advantages in the organizational settings, design settings, commercial settings. What we found, well, these are some of the highlights. We have a three-stage design hierarchy of persona usage. Listed here. Stage one is they help organize the information. Then stage two, they're adapted to short-term tasks. And then stage three of usage, they are used for explicit long-term goals of stakeholders. We've also found a great versatility in persona usage and design, but there is a lack of standardization of documenting these persona use cases. So that's really hindered the research, development, and application of personas. And finally, surprisingly, given we're 40 years into their usage and the widespread assumption that they're used in all disciplines, our findings challenge that. They're actually concentrated in a few disciplines and not so much in others. The motivation, we want to establish a roadmap of best practices of how practitioners employ personas to increase the value of design. And then we also want to highlight areas of interest for those desiring to conduct persona research. Our research objectives are here. We wanted to present how personas are used across various domains, how they're used at different stages of design, how they're evaluated. Okay, how their personas are used in conjunction with other user-centered design techniques, and then finally how personas can be used for social good. The method, we took a systematic review approach, used 3 databases, pulled several hundred articles, did initial screening, identified 95 articles that fit our criteria. And then we pulled out these particular elements of each of these articles for analysis. For domains, the most popular domain was software development, healthcare, and higher education. As you can see, the percentage-wise, those represent a sizable portion of the articles. Also, sometimes the articles address something that was cross-domain, so like maybe software development and higher education or something like that. So sometimes they're counted in both domains. But yeah, software development was by far and away the highest usage. For design task, conceptualization was the top design task, quickly followed by prototyping. Most articles employ personas in 2 different design tasks, with conceptualization and prototyping being the most common pair. And you can see the various design tasks and the task descriptions here and the frequency that they're employed. In terms of impact, when I say impact, measuring the impact of personas, ethnographic methods were far and away the most common. And as a mixed method researcher, I specifically think this is a problem. I value the qualitative approach. I think it adds great insights. But in terms of evaluation of a method, I think quantitative methods are probably more applicable there. So this is certainly an area that is opened up to a wide variety of research. And even if you disagreed with what I just said, doing quantitative evaluations of personas can be valuable to even in conjunction with these more qualitative methods. In terms of integration of personas with other user-centered design techniques, scenarios were far and away the most common, but also interviews, prototyping, and needs cards were quite frequently used also. So it appears that personas are not a standalone, or not necessarily a standalone, but can be used in conjunction and supplement and be supplemented by other design techniques. In terms of social good, we think this is an area where personas could really have great impact and make a contribution, because there are so many societal problems, and a better understanding of the users or the those that are impacted by social and political and cultural issues. I think this is an area where personas could really help, especially in articulating those needs to others. But healthcare and accessibility were the two most frequent categories for where personas are used in this regard. So what are some of the implications? Software development, the top domain for personas, really a need for standardization, okay, and how the personas are used in the design process. In terms of evaluation, primarily anecdotal, primarily qualitative. I think some empirical testing could really add some depth and rigor to the evaluation of personas. And then certainly there's open areas for conceptual work in mapping the different areas, social areas where personas can add value. Thank you very much. Please read the paper, and appreciate you listening to the presentation. Please reach out. Thank you.